General Dynamics Mission Systems has landed a contract to develop Medusa, which stands for Mining Expendable Delivery Uncrewed Submarine Asset, which is a next-gen uncrewed maritime mining system for the U.S. Navy. The deal is kicking off with a $16 million initial value, including program management, design, engineering, and testing through September 2026. And of course, if options are extended, the total contract could get up to nearly $60 million. Medusa itself, though, is featuring a medium-class uncrewed underwater vehicle, UUV, capable of launching from submarine torpedo tubes. Sounds like they're aiming for 4 prototype units to be ready by late 2026.
Aiming for 4 prototypes. I see what you did there.
That's right. I try.
So what comes first? The name of the Greek god that you make your the name of your equipment so it ties together in an acronym. I'm not sure. Medusa. Where do they get these from?
I mean, that was one. You've got. I mean, to make that work, mining expendable delivery uncrewed submarine asset.
Yeah,
you had to get the name first to make that one work.
You got to. But the number one challenge here is logistics. It's a nightmare getting 4 prototypes ready, designed, tested, fitted into basically torpedo tubes along the way. So logistics nightmare has to be the number one. Brian?
So you're saying that Medusa is a thing of nightmares?
For sure.
So I think, first off, with that name, there's a lot to unpack. I mean, especially the expendable part. So it's a lot. But the contract that GDMS won here is going to encompass program management, design, systems engineering, fabrication, testing, integration. The contract contains things that we have talked about at one point or another, all of these areas being our most important. We both argued all of these, depending on if we decided we agree or disagree with each other. So my number one is going to be one I'm sure that Andrew is going to attack and disagree with, but I'm going to go with design. There are so many considerations for this project. Design is going to be the most crucial, the most critical.
You left yourself open here. I got to say, design, yeah, it's important, but come on, you can have the slickest design in the world, but if your logistics can't get it out the door and into those torpedo tubes on time, all you've basically got is an expensive paperweight. Let's face it, if design's the brain, logistics the muscle. So without both, you're just going to be swimming around in circles and not letting anything out your tubes.
But is swimming in circles what Medusa is supposed to do? I mean, what is it supposed to do? Is it digging or retrieving mined resources? How deep is it going? How is it going to communicate with the overworld? What's the integration with the rest of the fleet? Is it autonomous? Is it controlled? These are all the requirements that have to be figured out. And more likely in this situation, requirements are going to be dynamic based off the testing and the feedback that's going to be happening with the users. So figuring out how to integrate the testing, integrate the results of this into new requirements, into the design, so that it can survive the harsh conditions, do everything it's supposed to do. You've got to have a solid DCM process.
Design and change process. Yeah. I mean, it's complex, don't get me wrong, but that's exactly why we would need for the solution here a solid requirements traceability. That's good for me, is going to be your number one solution in the critical threat. Every question and statement you made, you throw out there, from digging into autonomy to search to find these mines, because that's another one of the use cases, is going to require a clear trail of requirements, feedback, and adjustments to stay aligned as they iterate and they test. So no gaps, no assumptions, just one synchronized thread every step of the way.
You're right on that solution. And we only have 2 years to get this all done. The U.S. Navy wants the delivery of 4 prototypes by the end of 2026. And then if that goes well, the contract could extend until 2032 and $58 million. So you want this to go well. They need to have this DCM process figured out. They need to have the requirements traceability figured out, but they need to do it fast.
Yeah, I mean, I talk about our defense manufacturing timeline has got to dramatically increase. It's got to speed up to compete with what is now out there on every present danger every day. So that timeline's no joke, I agree. But what we need to do is to bring in predictive analytics from an AI perspective as a solution here, because using AI to anticipate any bottlenecks in the production or testing phases means that they won't get blindsided by delays. So it's about keeping that 2-year timeline realistic by preemptively spotting issues before they slow down the whole operation.
Now, this is the only show where we could have started with ancient Greek gods and ended up with sci-fi AI.